in the world did I just sit through? What did I just witness? I'm pretty sure I just had years shaved off the back end of my life. What a tough, ugly watch this game was, and on top of it, they lost. They lost.
When the Indiana Fever took the court Saturday night against the Los Angeles Sparks, fans anticipated a typical matchup, but what unfolded was anything but ordinary. What began as a routine game quickly spiraled into yet another glaring example of questionable officiating in the WNBA, with this instance leaving little room for doubt.
One thing with that last play that I'm speaking about, it seemed like they called it a loose ball foul at first, which would have been favorable for us because we have them in the bonus. Yeah, we were in the bonus with 5.5 minutes left to go. First time all season. I was shocked. We grabbed the rebound. Looked like they called it a loose ball foul. Yikes, we can go to the free throw line. Oh, they changed it.
The Fever fell to the struggling Sparks, 89-87, but the final score wasn't the real headline. The true story was the blatant disregard for player safety, highlighted by officials turning a blind eye as Sophie Cunningham's face was grabbed in plain sight, with no whistle and no accountability.
The LA Sparks just got the spark versus the Fever for some reason, man. But the Sparks always have matched up well with the Fever since last season, man. Tough ending for the Fever girls. Just some missed free throws, some questionable shots. Could have got it, man. Close game. I ain't even mad. The intensity is there, man. This team, if they can keep up this intensity, is going to be real nice when Caitlin...
This wasn't just another off night for the officials. It was a glaring display of systemic bias that underscored everything wrong with WNBA officiating. Sophie Cunningham was literally tackled to the ground during what began as a 50-50 play, then had her face grabbed, all in full view of the referees, who chose to do absolutely nothing.
Referees, let's just blame the referees and say, hey, but you called a loose ball foul. This was a game that we should have won. Again. And a game that we lost, unfortunately. 89-87, Los Angeles Sparks defeat.
Meanwhile, Sydney Carlson made a perfectly clean defensive play, going straight for the ball with her hands, yet the same officials inexplicably called it a foul. The absurdity peaked when they spent nearly 5 minutes at the monitor debating what should have been an obvious no call on Carlson's textbook defense.
A disaster. This was a disaster. The Indiana Fever cannot keep losing to teams like the LA Sparks if they're supposed to be a good team. And Rickea Jackson, she just flat abused the Fever in the last 3 minutes of the game. Seriously. What?
The contradiction was staggering. Cunningham was tackled to the ground and had her face grabbed, yet the officials stood by as if watching paint dry. Moments later, Carlson executed a textbook defensive play, hands only on the ball, and the whistles flew instantly. The hypocrisy was so blatant, even the broadcasters struggled to conceal their disbelief at the sheer inconsistency.
Sydney Carlson, man, shout out to her, dog. I can't overlook her. 6 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds with that intelligent block, like it. 2 of 4 from the floor, and then 2 of 3 from the 3. I mean, she was shooting like she was the scorer of the team. She put on her airy bag tonight.
If you're enjoying this coverage, be sure to subscribe. This is the same Sophie Cunningham who has been consistently targeted all season, not for dirty play, but for standing up for her teammates. She was the one who had Caitlin Clark's back when opponents took cheap shots, and now she's the one left unprotected while officials look the other way. Footage from Saturday night clearly shows Cunningham being grabbed around the neck by Julie Van Loo during what should have been a routine loose ball situation. Yet no foul was called. Instead, the refs ruled it a jump ball, as if violent contact to the head and neck is somehow part of standard basketball play.
And we talk about this. We are circled on everybody's schedule. Everyone, no one likes us, right? So everyone in our locker room, that's the only type of people that we have that we can lean on, and we got to be better in that area. We have got to stay disciplined. We have to stay focused. We need to get consistent, and we got to lean on each other. And I think that we've kind of wavered a little bit on that. We have our own islands, but as one of the leaders on the team, I got to do a better job of grouping people, right? In the fourth.
What makes this even more infuriating is that it was the same referee crew who spent an eternity at the monitor reviewing Sydney Carlson's clean block on Rickea Jackson. Carlson made a flawless defensive play, getting all ball, yet the officials still called a foul. It took them 5 full minutes of deliberation to overturn a call that never should have been made in the first place. That hesitation, that uncertainty over such an obvious play, speaks volumes about how lost these officials are. But this isn't just about incompetence, it's about selective enforcement. Certain players seem to get protection, while others are left wide open to physical contact that borders on assault. When Sophie Cunningham gets grabbed by the face, the refs suddenly go blind. But when Carlson makes a textbook stop, they're ready with the whistle before the ball even hits the floor. This double standard has haunted the Indiana Fever all season, and Saturday night was just its most glaring and disgraceful display yet.
With Lexi Hall in the starting lineup, and she was just trying to get charge calls all night, trying to get the charge calls because she was lacking with the size with Rakia Jackson. So I understood why she was doing it and trying to get Rakia in foul trouble. It was smart. But at the end of the day, that last play, you never flop and give the ref the game to call. You never flop in the clutch moment, man. I'm sorry.
The absurdity reached a breaking point when you consider who the Fever lost to, the Los Angeles Sparks, one of the worst teams in the WNBA this season. Coming into the game with a 5-13 record and sitting near the bottom of the standings, the Sparks have struggled all year. Yet they managed to edge out a win, largely thanks to officials who ignored blatant fouls and called phantom ones on clean defensive plays. Caitlin Clark's absence loomed large, and this game exposed just how misguided the better without Clark narrative truly is. The Fever desperately needed their star on the floor, and without her, it was clear they lacked the edge to pull through. With Clark in the lineup, this likely would have been a comfortable win. Instead, Indiana was left fighting not just their opponent, but the officiating, and doing it all without their best player.
Point out the obvious, a lot of people said it. We can officially rest in peace. R.I.P. Undertaker, Tombstone Piledriver. The theory that this team is better without Caitlin Clark. ESPN, you got your ears on? We can officially Tombstone Piledrive that BS. If you can't see how incredibly limited the Indiana Fever are on offense without CC, you're either not watching or you don't know what you're watching.
The Indiana Fever now sit at 9-9, but it feels more like 10 losses to the refs. Game after game, they're forced to battle not just their opponents, but a seemingly systematic bias from officials who consistently refuse to give them a fair shake. Every contest becomes an uphill climb, where even the most obvious calls have to be challenged and violent plays go completely ignored. The system is clearly broken. Take Saturday night's game. In the first quarter, Sophie Cunningham was blatantly grabbed around the neck by Julie Van Loo while diving for a loose ball. The contact was clear, deliberate, and entirely unnecessary, the kind of play any competent referee would whistle immediately as a foul, possibly even a flagrant. Instead, the officials inexplicably called it a jump ball and moved on, showing no concern whatsoever for Cunningham's safety. It's part of a disturbing pattern. While Cunningham continues to be unfairly targeted without protection, Sydney Carlson was penalized for doing exactly what the rulebook teaches: clean, disciplined defense. Carlson's block on Rakia Jackson, a textbook play, was called a foul, forcing the Fever to use a challenge just to correct what should have never been called in the first place. And even then, it took the refs nearly 5 minutes at the monitor to finally get it right. Think about the message that sends. Grab a player by the neck? No foul. Play on. Make a clean, legal stop? That's a foul, one that requires extended video review to even consider overturning. The inconsistency isn't just frustrating, it's dangerous. The level of officiating borders on criminal negligence, putting player safety at risk through selective enforcement of the rules.